All right, let's just jump right into it. Ever had that feeling where your income goes up, but you feel like you're just treading water? You're bringing in a good paycheck, but that financial stress, oh, it is real. And if that's you, you are so not alone. It's honestly one of the biggest, strangest paradoxes for higher earners out there. So, I'm going to ask you something straight up. What would you do if your savings hit zero? Like tomorrow, your car breaks down or you get a surprise medical bill, and there's nothing in the bank. What's the plan? Just let that sink in for a second. It's a scary thought, right? But for millions of people, it's not just a thought experiment. It's a very real possibility. So this is the paradox we're going to unpack today. How is it that a great salary can still leave you feeling completely broke? And more importantly, what's the escape hatch? Because here's the thing. This problem is super common, but the way out, it's actually way simpler than you might think. Okay, first up, let's get inside what some people call the middle class trap. It's this really subtle cycle that, believe it or not, keeps even people with big salaries from building any real long-term wealth. And it all kicks off with this thing called lifestyle creep. You know the drill. You get a raise, a promotion, and it's totally natural to think, hey, I deserve to treat myself. So maybe it's a nicer car, a bigger place, fancier vacations. But right there, that's where the sneaky part of the trap begins. Think about it. That daily latte from the nice coffee shop, that premium streaming subscription you can't live without, that yearly trip you have to take, they all kind of quietly go from being a luxury to a necessity. It's such a subtle shift you barely notice it. And then, bam, suddenly your expenses have ballooned to match or even blow past your new, bigger paycheck. And what makes all this even worse? Our whole buy now, pay later world. We're just swimming in easy financing deals. You know, monthly payments that make really expensive stuff seem like no big deal. It pulls you into what you could call an EMI life, where you're just stuck on a hamster wheel of earning, borrowing, and paying it all back. So here's the huge disconnect between how it looks and what's really happening. On the surface, yeah, a low monthly payment seems totally manageable, maybe even smart. But the reality? It's a total wealth trap. You end up paying so much more in interest for something that's losing value every single day. You're not building assets, you're just locking yourself into liabilities. So what's the end result when lifestyle creep and all those monthly payments gobble up your entire paycheck? Well, you're left in a really precarious spot with a $0 safety net. And this is where we have to get really clear on what an emergency fund is. It's not an investment trying to make you rich. It's insurance. It's just cash sitting there, waiting for when life does what it always does, throws you a curveball. Without that fund, a tiny little problem can spiral into a full-blown financial crisis, fast.
Yeah, think of it just like this image. You have no idea when the storm's going to hit, but you can absolutely build a shelter before it does. That fund is your financial shield. It's what lets you ride out those unexpected storms without having to rack up a bunch of high-interest credit card debt.
And this isn't some rare problem either. The need for that shield is way more common than you'd think. I mean, check this out. Data from the Bank of America Institute suggests almost a quarter of all households are living paycheck to paycheck. That's 1 out of every 4 families with basically zero buffer if something goes wrong. And that right there is the real emotional gut punch of this whole thing. Living without that safety net, it creates this low-level hum of stress that's just always there. Real financial stability, that peace of mind we're all after, it doesn't come from the number on your paycheck. It comes from knowing you've got a cushion, that you can handle whatever comes next. Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. We've laid out the problem, now let's get to the good stuff, the escape plan. And the best part is, the way out is totally doable for anyone. It's not about winning the lottery, it's about building a few key habits. Seriously, you don't need some huge chunk of cash to fall into your lap to turn things around. All you need is a small habit, something simple, something you can do consistently. Remember, we're aiming for progress here, not perfection. So let's break it down to something ridiculously simple. What if you just started with $5 a day? That's it. That's one less fancy coffee. It sounds like almost nothing, right? So small it couldn't possibly make a difference. But trust me, this is where the magic happens. Just look at this. Take a look at what that tiny $5 habit turns into. After just 10 years, you're looking at almost $21,000. Now you only put in about $18,000 of your own money. The rest, that extra $2,700, that's just free money your savings earned for you. That right there is the insane power of being consistent. And the engine making all this happen is something called compound interest. It's seriously one of the most powerful concepts in all of finance. All it means is that your money starts making money. You earn interest on your savings, and then you start earning interest on your interest. It's incredible. Yeah, this quote just nails it. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts off tiny, right? But as it keeps rolling, it picks up more and more snow, getting bigger and faster and faster. That is exactly what's happening with your money when you let it compound. So when you boil it all down, escaping this trap comes down to one big idea. Building wealth isn't some secret handshake only a few people know. It's a skill. And just like any other skill, you can learn it. The starting point for learning that skill? Financial knowledge. And hey, this isn't just me talking. It is backed up by solid data. This chart shows a super clear link. The more you understand about money, what we call financial literacy, the better you get at actually building wealth. It's a direct connection. And getting that knowledge isn't about getting a PhD in economics. It could be as simple as just reading one good financial article a day. In this game, knowledge is literally power.
All right, let's wrap this up. The biggest takeaway here is that financial freedom, it's not really about the size of your paycheck. It's all about the power of your plan. It's about how you manage the money you have. So I'll leave you with this question. What's your first step going to be?